Texas area homeowners, if
Okay, now can you hear me? All right. I think it actually works now. Flick my mute switch on and off. Oh, nice. Nice. This is awesome. Okay. Thank you. This is like the tough thing about being a boomer. So now, like a millennial boomer, basically like a millennial who doesn't know how to use technology, and I get so frustrated. Thank you so much, Joe, for the. Thank you so much for that, Joe, for the super chat. I get like so frustrated. Whoever downliked this, you're so mean. I get like so frustrated with my inability to and that's why I didn't do these live streams for a while. That's why I keep not doing them. It's because like I just get so frustrated. I don't know. Go live on YouTube now. Live on YouTube. No more technical difficulties. Shoot, my. All right. And we're not on Periscope, so sorry to Periscope people. Prodigal Heel says his part is doing a stare down contest. All right. Thank you so much for the up likes, everybody. So, all right. What happened to using Streamlabs? I don't know why it says I was using Streamlabs. I was trying to use Streamlabs in order to get onto Rockfin. So Rockfin is a new platform. It's kind of like YouTube, and they have like basically a lot of people who have been banned from YouTube or demonetized from YouTube are flocking to Rockfin because it's like a video network. It's subscription based, but you can also get content for free there. It's kind of like both, like YouTube. The difference is that they're more like, they're less filtering, they're less PC, and they let you say whatever you want on their platform for the most part. I talked to the guys who are like in charge, and they're interested in having me on also, which is so cool because I'm still kind of little, especially here on YouTube. I don't have a lot of subscribers yet, so I'm really excited to join on with them. And their platform is on the blockchain, so you can make money, you know, as a user. You can make money creating content, and they don't, and they give you like equity in their crypto tokens. So it's really nice to have. It's more of like it's just like a better deal for creators, and it's a better deal for viewers because you get to have a lot more like content that's unfiltered. Jonathan says, really great to see you again. If you have time, we'd love to chat with you on my YouTube channel. Oh yeah, that would be awesome. And sorry if I'm like MIA and if you message me and I don't respond. I've just been like, as always, I'm just figuring shit out, and sometimes I get like really stuck in my head with certain things. And hey Doug, what up, Hamid? So yeah, thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate seeing you guys on here. And even if I don't do a live stream, it's not because I don't enjoy it. It's because like I'm really stuck in my head about these things because I want it to be good, and I get frustrated with myself if it's not perfect, or if I'm still not, you know, if I'm still having trouble with the tech or whatever. So for anyone who has not been following the Bachelor drama, first of all, if you don't know what The Bachelor is a show on ABC. It's you know, like a dating show, falling in love. There's a Bachelor and there's a Bachelorette. It kind of goes back and forth between seasons. On the season of The Bachelor, there's going to be one guy who's dating like 20 women, and every like week another woman gets kicked off the show, and that's how he finds out who. That's basically like how they narrow down. You know, he basically like kicks off a woman off the show, and then, you know, the finalist is basically the person that he proposes to, and they supposedly get married. And the same with the Bachelorette. She's a woman. She dates like 20 guys, and she knocks off a guy every week from the show, and like ends up with the finalist, and they get married and live happily ever after. Of course, they don't always get married and live happily ever after. I think there might actually only be like 2 or 3 actual bachelors, like who actually, and bachelorettes who actually like married the person that was the finalist on the show. A lot of it is manufactured TV. My really good friend was on The Bachelor. She was on Chris, I forgot what his last name's season. And so yeah, she told me a lot about it. She said it was like, I don't want to say her name because I want her to come on the show, and I want her to introduce her to you guys, and I want her to say things from her perspective. And she agreed to come on actually, but she was busy. Like, I wanted her to come on yesterday. She was busy, but I'm definitely going to have her on at some point. She told me about how a lot of it is manufactured. Obviously, they create like stories, but it's not necessarily acting. It's not like they're telling people to act a story. The producers will like kind of get you. The producers will like put you in these situations. One second. Alrighty. yeah, basically the producers will like put you in these situations with other people, and they'll like instigate drama, and they'll push the narrative to like how they want the story to go. They'll have like a story that, like this girl will be the crazy girl, that girl will be the smart girl, this girl will be whatever, and so they'll have like a whole thing that they set up to make the show interesting and to get ratings. And like my friend, they try to make her out to be a lesbian, even though my friend's totally straight. And they also made her look kooky. There was a part where they with some of them, they'll like edit out the scenes to make it like like they'll try to like edit things out to make one narrative about you seem true. Like if a person cried a couple times on the show, maybe they'll, with Ashley Akinetti, which is one of the contestants that was on the show, they edited out to like only include the parts of her crying and being emotional because they have so much footage of everybody. So she became the girl who's always crying, even though she wasn't necessarily always crying. It was just they just included those parts of her on the show. So anyway, that's The Bachelor. So you get the picture. So more recently, the narratives that they've been pushing on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette have been all about racial stuff. And you never know what's true and what's not true, but a lot of it you can tell is definitely true. Basically, the drama with the racial stuff, it started like this. Okay, so there is a controversy more recently about The Bachelor or Bachelorette not having enough contestants. That are enough like colored contestants. So 1 second. Let me just find you. All right. So this girl. Oh man, there's just so much. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't let me show it to you guys. So basically, there's this woman. Her name is Rachel Lindsay. I can show you her picture because for some reason it lets me do that. So this woman, Rachel Lindsay, she was the first like black contestant on The Bachelorette. And she like basically she like had a talk with like People magazine and a bunch of other people about how she kind of like opened up about her experiences on The Bachelor, and one of the things that she and a few other people agreed on was that there aren't enough black bachelors and bachelorettes on the show. And this was like a picture that went viral that, 1 second, this is a picture that went viral. A lot of people were like, okay, there's like this one black chick over here on the side. There isn't a lot of other ones. So this is Ben Higgins' season. Ben was like, that was a really popular season on The Bachelor. And so the whole thing was like, okay, there weren't enough black people on the show because I guess they were marketing the show mostly towards like white women or whatever. So it was mostly like white people on the show. So it became a whole controversy where and they tried to put like more black contestants on the show. So Rachel Lindsay was the first one. Then last season it was also The Bachelorette. So last season we had the second black bachelorette. Her name was Tayshia Adams. So this is Tayshia right here. She married this guy, or she is engaged to this guy who's anyway. So Tayshia was not supposed to be the bachelorette last season. The person who was supposed to be the bachelorette was actually this woman named Claire Crawley. This lady on this side. No, this lady. So she was actually supposed to be the bachelorette, and what happened was the first week that they had all their contestants, Claire fell in love with some guy that was on the show. Supposedly, we don't actually know the truth, but she supposedly fell in love with a guy who was on the show and like was like, I don't have eyes for any other men and I just want to marry this guy. I found my love, and she like just left the show, and in her place they put Tayshia Adams, the second Black Bachelorette. So she was really great. Normally the bachelors and bachelorettes, they're like crazy, especially the women. They're always crazy and doing some crazy shit. Tayshia was not crazy at all. In fact, she seemed really level-headed, and everybody liked her. She was really likable. All the men loved her. They really, either she is a very, very likable person, or they did a good job of making her seem very likable, because there was like no drama on her part. She was just like the most perfect, most likable person ever. And she ended up with this guy that was like, he is also really nice. He's like a recovering, he recovered from drugs, or like, yeah, like a whole story and whatever. So great. So that was Tayshia Adams. Anyway, I watched it with my sister, and my sister also really liked her. So this season was the first Black Bachelor, and his name is Matt James. If you have any questions about like what's happening, I'm gonna go through your questions at the end, because I'm sure like a lot of people don't actually watch The Bachelor and are wondering like, who are all these people? So this is Matt James. He's a Black Bachelor, the first Black Bachelor, and you might have seen him with a beard because he grew a beard, but this is him without one. So basically, I didn't watch a lot of this season, to be honest, because I was like too busy doing other things, and I was like watching Suits. So, but this season went viral because Matt fell in love with a girl. Her name was Rachel Kirkconnell. This girl right here, she's 24 years old. She's a graphic designer from the South, I guess. And so he falls in love with this girl, Rachel Kirkconnell, and she was the finalist, and they were about to have her as like the finalist on the show when apparently out of nowhere some controversy comes out, and I can't show it to you on my thing because whatever, but basically a picture came out of Rachel with her friends in college, which was in 2018, so because she's 24, it wasn't so long ago that she was in college. So in 2018, there was a picture of her at a college party that was antebellum themed. So, and then on top of that, they also found that on social media, on like Instagram, she liked some photos of her friends at college parties that were racist parties. So by racist parties, what they mean is people who were in some of those pictures were wearing like Native American costumes, or they were wearing like someone had a Confederate flag or something like that. So this girl didn't actually say or do anything that was in any way racist, other than going to these parties that were in her college and liking pictures of her friends who were at those college parties when she was in college. And like side note, I don't know anything about this girl's personal views, but she doesn't seem like the very political type, and she doesn't seem like a very opinionated type, and definitely doesn't seem like the kind of person who would like wave a Confederate flag around to make a political statement. And she definitely was not the one who had the Confederate flag. She liked a picture of one of her friends that was in a picture with that the Confederate flag was in. And so anyway, it's like very, very, very far-fetched the way that the blame game is going. But this went viral. She was humiliated and embarrassed so badly. It was like really, really, really crazy and sad to watch. I tried to like for a while. I mean, I have been trying to shield myself from talking about these things because it's just so scary, like to people are just so brainwashed, and it's so scary to see what they'll crucify you for saying. So yeah, but it was really sad to watch this 24-year-old get roasted over something that I really don't think she was trying to do. And then so she comes on this show, The Bachelor, and she falls in love with the first black bachelor, and everything is great. And then they sit her down, and they're like, sorry, you are getting kicked off the show. Matt doesn't want to be with you anymore because you're a racist. So they have a whole talk, and this is, I wish I could share it with you. I'm like so annoyed. Maybe I'll do this in a side video, but they have a whole talk with her, and so they kick her off the show. It's like he breaks up with her. He's no longer in love with her because she's a racist. At least that's what the narrative is. And then Chris Harrison, who's this guy? Chris Harrison is you've definitely seen this guy. He's been the host of The Bachelor for the past almost 20 years. So Chris Harrison goes on like a live stream, like a show with Rachel Lindsay, who's the first black bachelorette, and and Rachel Lindsay asks her, so what do you think about this lady that you kicked off, Rachel Kirkconnell, that was kicked off the show for being a racist? What do you think about her? And like, should she have gone to that party or whatever? And Chris Harrison, the host of The Bachelorette, whatever, he goes, yeah, like that was Matt's choice to not want to be with her. But I also feel bad for Rachel, the girl, because she's being demonized like this, and she's being humiliated on social media and embarrassed and like treated so badly just because of a picture that she was in when she was in college. She could never have predicted something like this. And that clip of him defending Rachel started circulating on social media. And of course, Chris Harrison was booted from the show after almost 20 years. And he was booted for being a racist. They're literally saying he is a racist because he didn't defend her picture. He was basically like, oh, I think that she's being treated too harshly. And this is coming from a man who helped boot this girl from the show. So it's like a game of Russian roulette. Everybody is like shooting each other, and they're all coming to see who's going to be shot next. And then ABC released a statement saying Chris Harrison will not be hosting the second season of The Bachelorette. We support Chris in the work that he's committed to doing. In his absence, former Bachelorettes Tayshia Adams and Caitlin Bristowe will support the new Bachelorette through next season. By the way, Tayshia Adams, the girl I told you about from last season, and then Caitlin Bristowe is this girl. I really, 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 really do not like this girl, Caitlin Bristowe. She's such a faker. I hated her. While watching her season, I watched her whole season. She was stupid and fake and annoying, and she's so self-righteous. And I will not watch a Bachelor season with her as the host. Anyway, Tayshia is a little more likable. So anyway, so they're replacing Chris Harrison with Caitlin Bristowe and Tayshia Adams. And as we continue the dialogue around achieving greater equity and inclusion within the Bachelor franchise, we are dedicated to improving the BIPOC, I guess, Bachelor people of color representation of our crew, including among the executive producer ranks. These are important steps in effecting fundamental change so that our franchise is a celebration of a love that is reflective of our world. From Warner Horizon and ABC Entertainment. This whole crucifixion of this young 24-year-old girl and then Chris Harrison and anyone else who defended them is in order to spread the love, because ABC cares so much about spreading the love. By the way, this whole thing might actually be made up. These photos might actually not even be real. But actually, the photos are real. They found it. But this whole thing might have been like set up. They might have even known from the beginning that these photos existed, meaning it's not even photos of her, it's photos that she liked. There's one photo of her being at a party, and then there was like photos that she liked of other people that were at similar parties in college. She probably doesn't even know what antebellum is. I didn't even know what that was until someone had to explain it to me, why that's what that is, why is it racist. So something like that could have easily happened to me like a million times. All right. So then, after all this happens and they kick off Chris Harrison from the show, they don't even let him finish out the season finale. So they bring in this new guy, Emmanuel Acado or something like that. Emmanuel Acado? Emmanuel Acco. So this black guy, they basically replaced Chris Harrison with a black guy to show like we're so inclusive and unity and loving. So and they basically sit down with Chris Harrison. Sorry, Emmanuel Acco sits down with this guy, Matt James, who's the Black Bachelor, and Rachel Kirkconnell for her to publicly apologize to the world and ask for his forgiveness about this picture of her at this party 3 years ago. So they have this whole session. Matt James, grown man, is sitting there crying about how he has been feeling hurt, and he feels hurt and heartbroken about what she did to him, which was this picture from several years ago. And so it's like this whole like crying fest, and her apologizing and like rubbing his back and apologizing. She issued also another apology. She issued like a million apologies. And then people started defending her, and she's like, please stop defending me. And after Chris Harrison was booted off the show for defending her, she was like begging people to stop defending her, stop defending me, it was racist what I did, I'm so sorry that I did that thing. And like the whole thing is just, it's like painful to watch. Haha. Anyway, I don't mean haha about that. I mean haha about some of the comments. It's so funny. Someone said BIPOC means Black Indigenous People of Color. I'm not sure that's what it means. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna look it up. But anyways, she posted on Instagram about this whole thing, about how this guy Matt was the love of her life, and she thought that she was going to be married and it was going to be the biggest thing, for her career, for her life, for her marriage, whatever. And she writes, I knew from the first night I met Matt that he was something special, and I was praying to share something exceptional between the two of us, if that's what it was meant to be. While I never expected this outcome, I respect his decision completely. Of course, I wish circumstances were different, but I still feel blessed for the time we had together and the memories we made. I got to fall in love, and I truly believe he was the love of my life. He will always hold a piece of my heart. I will always be hopeful and believe that's what's meant to be will be. At the least, I hope tonight sparks conversation and a level of understanding. Okay, so that's about the conversation that she had with Matt. Anyway, then this guy, Emmanuel Acco, causes more drama over it. So as if this girl hasn't been crucified enough, she after this whole thing happened, and if you go and look on Twitter, Google Rachel Kirkconnell, you'll see, at least yesterday when I went on Twitter and searched Rachel Kirkconnell, it was nothing but hate fest against this 24-year-old girl about how she's a racist, and everyone is just so happy that she was humiliated by Felicia. you're disgusting, we hate you, go to hell, all these bad things. And so all that's happening, and then this girl who's being crucified in the public sphere, apparently someone texted her to like ask her. So there was another black contestant on the show who like messaged her to say, I guess to talk to her about it, like, hey, like, are you really a racist? Are these pictures, like, do they mean anything? Are you actually racist? And so this person like texted her to ask her about it, and she didn't respond. Probably because she's in the middle of being humiliated in the public, and so she's probably just feeling really, really scared and not wanting to talk to anybody, because that's what I would do. I would just not, that's not happening to me, and I'm already like, I don't respond to my texts. So this girl didn't respond to her text because she's in the middle of getting crucified. Forgive her. And the show, the new guy, Emmanuel Ako, the new black guy, who's now like replaced Chris Harrison, tweeted this whole thing about like, here's basically another piece of the drama about how he, like Rachel was being standoffish and she wasn't responding to this other black contestant who had messaged her about it, and then she hurt that girl's feelings. And so I came in and I talked to Rachel and I told her she needs to go and apologize to this girl that she didn't respond to their text. And so anyway, Rachel, of course, apologized and said, I'm so sorry I didn't respond to your texts. Like, I don't know what else she said. Probably, no, I'm not a racist. Or maybe she said, yeah, I was a racist and I regret it, or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't. You have to either say that you were actually a racist, which, by the way, falling in love with, you can't fall in love with someone. I mean, the way that I see it, you can't fall in love with someone that if you think that they're racially inferior to you. You can't fall in love with someone that you don't see them as like a person. Like, it doesn't happen. Maybe it's a fetish and you're not in love with them, but you can't fall in love with someone if you're don't accept them racially as your equal. It doesn't make sense. And so why would she fall in love with this guy anyway if she's 20, whatever. Just the whole thing is ridiculous and maddening and makes you sad that people are like this. But so, alrighty. I wanted to share this with you guys. This is another reason why I don't do live streams, because it never works out. Something always goes wrong. So, anyway, now, instead of this causing more like love and unity and whatever, like they were supposed to be doing, it's just fanning the flames. All the white people are like self-sacrificing, throwing themselves on their sword, being like, oh, don't defend me, like, kill me, I'm the worst. I was probably racist, even though I didn't intend to be. Deep down, it probably came from a racist place. And then and then it's and then the black people on the show are being told like, yeah, this person is racist. Be mad at them. They're a racist. Go, hate them. And so then be hurt, be sad. They wanted to oppress you. They wanted to kill you. And it's like this back and forth, like just fanning the flames. Love. This is love. And this constant back and forth, it's not doing anything more. It's now, if you go on Twitter, what's trending right now is former black contestants say Bachelor Nation has a race problem, and just like more and more black people are speaking up, and famous black people and people who were on the show are speaking up and saying about how they use us because we're black, they're being racist towards us. They want to they're abusing the black. First of all, as someone who has actually watched The Bachelor, I haven't watched every single season, but I've watched enough seasons to know that they do not, at least the recent seasons, and I'm just saying recent because I don't remember the old ones so well, but the ones that I remember, all the seasons that I remember, they do not make the black people look crazy. In fact, they make the black people look normal and level-headed and nice, and they make the white people look crazy. I mean, they need crazy people. That's literally the whole point of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. It's reality TV that's manufactured to make a bunch of people look crazy and drama and, you know, fighting over each other, because it's like 20 people fighting over one person. That's the prize. That's the whole point of The Bachelor and Bachelorette. So no, like, I do not agree that The Bachelor is specifically trying to make black people look bad. Although it might be happening inadvertently in a different way. They're, you know, like, all this, like, talk about all this race baiting and being, you know, gladiatoring and roasting people for being white, or, you know, for trying to make them seem racist when they're really not. That actually might cause some more racism. That might stir racism. Like, I could definitely see that happening. And not racism in, like, oh, you know, just racism, and people are just afraid to get involved in any of these things. I feel like I can talk about this more easily now because I'm not, like, working in politics, so I can be a little more open and not worry about, like, my job or whatever. But if I were looking to be on The Bachelor, I would not. For this reason, I would be way, way, way too afraid to go on Bachelor season with black contestants, because, and I'm not even like white, but I would still be afraid to go on a season, because they're basically showing the world, if you go on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette and you fall in love with a black contestant or a black, you know, person that's at the top, your whole past life is going to be analyzed, and they're going to find something on you that they're going to make you out to be a racist. They're going to find a way to call you racist, because there's always going to be people who are going to try to take, it's a competition, so your competitors are going to want to try to take you down so they can win. So they're definitely going to find something from your past that somehow proves that you're a racist. And I know they could do that to me easily. I've made, you know, I've said so many, like, things on Twitter all the time. Just go in my past. You can take apart anything I say you can make me racist against myself. Some people wrote articles about how I'm, like, anti-Semitic even though I'm Jewish. Like, you can say so many things about me, it's nuts. Which is why I will never go on shows like that, but especially not on The Bachelor, and I will definitely not go on one of these shows and fall in love with a black person, because that's what they're telling you is going to happen to you if that's what you do. So I don't see that as unity. I see that as pitting people against each other, or at least making them afraid of each other, or making them not even afraid of each other, but afraid of being together, afraid of, like, unity. Like, this is what's going to happen to you. So, like, yeah. And the final thing before I, like, read some of your comments, the final thing I want to say is Zuby, my friend who lives in the UK, he talks about this all the time, about how Americans are obsessed with race talk. He says, I love the USA, but my least favorite thing about it is all the race talk. It's so freaking tiresome. The UK is desperately trying to import that nonsense. It's all dumb, ultra low IQ thing to obsess over, millimeters deep. Okay. Zuby talks about this stuff a lot. He's a rapper based in the UK, and he talks a lot about how a lot of like this like PC race baiting stuff, like a lot of it actually does cause racism where it didn't exist. I don't actually think we're like a racist country, but I think it's like a lot of this stuff is likely to cause more tension. He tweets, "I grew up in a very ethnically diverse place. I remember first hearing about the concept of racism when I was about 6. Someone explained it to me and I was like, that's dumb. That doesn't even make sense." Anyway. Yeah, so the idea of racism is stupid. The idea of race baiting is stupid. The whole thing is really stupid, and it's like these media outlets are perpetuating that. Okay, I'm gonna look at your comments. Don't associate with people who think racism is an important issue. All right. Jason says racism is a belief in a hierarchy of races. That's all it is, nothing less, nothing more. Honestly, if it's really painful to like be around certain people because they don't know enough about your background, or they said something silly about the way you look or your ethnic background or whatever, like if it bothers you that much, like don't try to be around them. You don't have to like, they're not like, there's a lot of silly or dumb people, or maybe not even silly or dumb, but just people who just don't know about you. Like you can't be so entitled to expect everybody to like cater to like your exact whims of what you think is appropriately non-racist. I don't know. I think it's stupid. And like people are like, well you're not my race, so you can't know what hurts me and what doesn't. Well, I can't care what hurts you and what doesn't. Like you can't expect higher standards for yourself than for anybody else. I can't care what hurts you to say and what doesn't. If like it bothers you so much to hear certain people say certain things, like just go somewhere else. Talk to someone else. That's what I would do. I treat it the same way that I would treat my own interactions. If I don't there isn't anything equivalent, because with a lot of this like PC stuff, it's only directed at like if you're there. Yeah, sorry. Chris B says, part is your perspective plus real talk is refreshing. Keep it up. Oh my gosh. Like, thank you so much. But I'm just way too self-conscious on these live streams. The entire time I'm thinking to myself, I should have made this into a video. I should have made this into an edited video, because I already, like, the first thing that happened when I got on this stream was technical difficulties and my voice not showing, and it's like, it's just so frustrating to try and do a live stream when, like, I'm already so self-conscious. And then I like screw it up by not understanding the technology that I'm using. And I so appreciate you guys for watching despite all of that, and for giving me this awesome feedback. It's really cool. Anyway. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. See you all later on another live stream. Let me know in like, I mean, if you're on Twitter, DM me. Let me know if you think I should have more of this live, or if you'd be cool with an edited video, because I'm actually seriously thinking of doing more edited videos, because like this is just I'm just so flustered when I do these things, even though I enjoy it. Anyway, all right, see you guys later.